Good morning and welcome to the 445 Productive from Joy Show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. Here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Guys, today we're talking about a major topic for a lot of people, including me, releasing grievances. Have mercy. A lot of us, have been done wrong by somebody, and at times we've done other people wrong, but we don't really focus on that. Typically, we focus on how people have done us wrong. And of course, it's natural to, in the soon thereafter, to be upset, feel bad, want to check the person or check the person when need be. And then, we have this whole emotional thing, and that's normal. But for many of us, including me at times, we hold on to those grievances. We say, how could they? I was their friend, we have this whole, and at times, frankly, listen, those grievances are justified. At times when people are not well, certainly in my experience, they don't act right, so that's just what happens. So we have to deal with people's unwellness. And, listen, at times we're also unwell. And the thing is to recognize that and to have grace and to be able to release those things. That's easier said than done. So today's show is dedicated to how we can do it. So you can go to productivethroughjoy.com to see about us. And again, we speak to groups, schools, and organizations about how to be productive through joy. So thanks for joining us today, guys. Let's dive into the topic. So we're talking about releasing grievances. And point one is to acknowledge that you have an actual grievance, to own up to the fact that, wow, this thing is really bothering you. You can see it by how it operates in your mind, meaning that you think about it a lot, or you wish that, I hope they get hit by a car, or you think something crazy like, I hope a rock falls in their eyeball and plucks out their pupil, Oh man, it's you have these thoughts, but you have these internal dialogues. What I should have said was, yo mama, we do all this stuff with people who've done us wrong. And listen, at times, I get it. I've done that, yo mama. But after a while, that begins to work against us. But first we have to acknowledge, man, I have a problem with this person. I was thinking about that with a person or an institution, but I'll stick with the people for now. So then point two is we want to do the work to be able to be in the position to release it. Why is that important? Because when you have, when someone has done you wrong, and you have a rightful grievance against them, you feel, the inclination is to hold on to it and lash out and do things and become like them, basically. But when you're doing that, after a while, the grievance begins to actually weigh you down and get in the way of you doing your other work. If your mind is on what someone has done to you, even though you have in your own mind a rightful grievance, you're not able to focus fully on the work that you could be doing because your heart is kind of weighed down. You're like, why did they do that? What happened? Oh man, this is crazy. I did. We talk about these internal. We have these internal dialogues about and trying to figure out what could have happened here. What were they thinking? And so we engage in this process, but that holds us down from our greater work, which in my language, in my nomenclature, I say it's co-creating miracles, which is doing things that manifesting dreams for our family, our communities, our ancestors, and ourselves, which takes major work. And much of that work is, if you know the systems that we use in the Kemetic or ancient African, ancient Egyptian system of visualization and meditating and words of power, you use your mind for that, to set the template and to set things in motion. But if your mind is on a grievance, and your heart is weighed down, you aren't able to fully do that work that we talk about on this show a lot as effectively. So literally having a grievance in the past impacts your ability to impact and co-create your better, more fully realized future. You don't want that, right? So the person who has a grievance so the person who you have a grievance towards, who's done you wrong, at least from your vantage point, is still doing you wrong. You're allowing them to do you wrong because they're impacting the future that you could have, but you don't because you're focused on the past, right? Which goes right into point three. So when you release that, you are able to be freed up. Your spirit is freed up. In the ancient African tradition and the Kemetic tradition, you may have seen this, this from being alive in America, that the scales of justice that we have, although now we know that it's crooked as hell, but in the primordial tradition, there'd be a heart on one of those scales and a feather on the other. That's from the weighing of words in the African, in the Kemetic, in the Egyptian, ancient Egyptian system of accessing one's highest self in what people would think about as heaven in the afterlife. And they talked about having a heart as light as a feather. And that's where those scales come from. That's many other things that we have in American and Western civilization. That's a different show. Well, I've been reading the Black Athena book recently, and the Stolen Legacy and other books about the African foundation of Western civilization, certainly in terms of philosophies and sciences. It's very disturbing. Anyway, I don't want to get too far into that. So as you release grievances, guys, you're able to have a light heart and go about doing your work in a much more replete way. So boom, goes the dynamite. That's all we have for today's show. We'll see you when? We'll see you this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. Oh, if you're in LA, I should probably announce this tomorrow. We are having a huge event at the World Stage. It'll be a Zoom. It'll be a broadcast live again. It's another one of our poets and jazz artists against racism events. It'll be West Coast time, Saturday at 7. It's myself, Jaha, Zainabu, and Paul Calderon, and AK Tony, an all-star lineup. So look for that. I'll send out a flyer soon. Anyway, end of commercial. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you when? Tomorrow at 4:40. No, today at 4:45 p.m. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces, I'm out.